Hi, welcome to Happier Ladies. We're sisters who discuss all things related to work, family, and personal growth.
We draw inspiration from everywhere, especially from you, our listeners, to keep moving forward with joy and laughter and the big adventure that is life.
1 week at a time.
I'm Azizi Williams. I live and work in the LA area. I'm a mom of two, soon to be an empty nester, and I'm an education professional in the independent school world. I'm here with my sister, Malika Amandi.
That's me. I'm a SoCal native living in Western Massachusetts, a newish mom, and I work in higher ed.
In this episode, we'll recap our favorite moments from the Happier with Gretchen Rubin podcast and Happier in Hollywood, hosted by Liz Craft and Sarah Fain.
But first, Azizi, I have an AI update for you.
AI? Okay. What happened?
So Norm we've established that he's into AI and he's kind of like the thought leader in our house around it.
Okay. And we all benefit from that.
We all benefit. He's been doing a lot with music and AI, and there's like a platform where you can create songs. Like you can write your own lyrics and tell it the style that you're interested in, and it will generate vocals and instrumental and like lots of different genres, and it's pretty wacky. He's been playing with this for a long time, but more recently, he's been using it to write songs with Indigo, which is fun. So they'll like come up with a topic, for instance, our new car that we have, and talk about the car, come up with some lyrics together, and then experiment with different songs. And then Norm has actually been publishing the songs.
What?
Like on Apple Music.
Wait a minute. Hold on. So, okay, Norm is a musician, right? He's a trained musician also.
He is also a musician, yes.
Many instruments, right? That he knows how to play.
Yes. But he's not playing instruments in these situations.
But he has that background, and so I'm sure that's helpful in this endeavor. And so, is he singing the lyrics, or is the AI singing the lyrics?
No, the AI is singing the lyrics, which is controversial and like, I mean, there's whatever you want to say about ethics, blah, blah, blah. Like,
okay.
This is a platform that exists that is legal. It's not copying anyone's voice. It's generating it from whatever thing.
And the music is original because he's putting in the prompts, right?
Exactly.
And tweaking it and playing around with it.
Yes. And like there's different levels. Like you could have it generate lyrics for you. He's actually writing the lyrics. We're writing the lyrics together.
Oh,
so this is my update, is that I have been brought into some of these songs as a contributor.
Okay.
So we have Norm the Note Ninja, and I am Melody Mouse.
That's your stage name for this song writing?
Yes.
Ever. Okay.
So I'm going to link it because if you've got the right age group listening to these songs, they're very catchy.
Malika, should we just play a little bit?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know how to do that.
Just hold up your phone to the microphone.
I don't know how that will work.
Too far? Okay. All right. Got it.
But it's fun. Like, I've been kind of like interested, excited for him, but kind of skeptical. Not skeptical, but just not really jumping on, you know? But I will say it's quite fun to just ask the smart home device to play your own song, and it does. And Indigo loves it. Like, he loves the songs. We've got his daycare involved. They're playing them now. Like, it's really fun and sweet and like a cool, different type of memento, you know?
Aww. Okay, so maybe the next stage is music video, right? There's got to be a music video to put on YouTube to go along with these original songs.
Well, Norm has been making music videos for his other music, not for these, but for, he does some like political parody stuff, and they creep me out so much. Because it's like,
well, let's not do creepy ones.
Generated, the like AI video generation is like, gives me the heebie-jeebies.
No, I was thinking like you are the star and Indigo's the star. Like we need real people, not fake people.
Okay.
Real people YouTube video. Maybe Kermit's the star, you know?
Yes.
That's the next level.
No offense, Norm. I've said
I think you've given him a lot of praise. So I think the ratio is right
He
of
knows how I
praise
feel.
to criticism. Yeah, I think that's fair. AI generated visuals can be very creepy.
Yeah.
Well, it's very cool. Malika, what happened on Happier in Hollywood?
On Happier in Hollywood, episode 421, Sarah and Liz discuss priorities lists. They share about the joy of slow start mornings, and Liz offers a phone hack. On episode 422, Sarah encourages others to garden, and they both discuss the ups and downs of deadlines. All right, so slow starts to the day. I loved this segment. Zizi, how do you start your morning?
Well, it's not easy to get out of bed because I would definitely prefer to stay in bed probably for like 2 hours after I wake
Yeah.
up. I really like a slow start morning, but on weekdays, I usually try to get myself out of bed, get on the treadmill if it's a good day. I listen to the radio while I'm getting ready. There might be some dancing. I make my lunch and my energy drink, feed the dog, and then I run out of the house holding like 5 different bags. Trying to balance my drink, my breakfast, my hard-boiled egg. That's probably a sight to see. But I will say, Malika, I've been able to incorporate, I'm not sure if I've talked about this yet. There's a journaling workshop that Weight Watchers offers on Wednesday mornings. For me, it's like 6:30 my time. And it's like 8 prompts, and the instructor reads them, and you get to write for yourself.
Cool.
There's some discussion. It's just such a lovely way to start the day. So if I remember, I will wake up early, have my journal, and do that instead of my treadmill routine to start the day. I love that for the weekday.
So, like, on a weekend when you can occasionally have a
Right.
slow start and stay in bed for 2 hours, what are you doing?
Yeah, I'm journaling and looking up things on my phone. I'm reading the paper on my phone. You know, I
Mhm.
like to read the New York Times, Los Angeles Times, taking notes, making lists. That's what I would be doing if I could. Maybe looking at a magazine, maybe reading a book. No, I'm not reading a book. That's not true. I would never be reading. I would never be reading a book, but I could definitely look at a magazine like on my iPad or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
I live for the slow start morning. I feel like that used to be a part of who I was. Pre-baby.
See, I'm entering into that phase, and you have left that phase.
I know, but, like, when I think about the times when Norm and I go away, like, overnight, or, like, the friends trip that I just did, like, my favorite part is having a slow morning, and even just for that day, it's nice, you know?
Yeah,
It was just like any Saturday could have been that, and it's just, like, so rare now.
yeah. But what are you doing on your slow start morning? If your ideal slow start morning,
Yes.
what does it look like for you?
So, before kids, I say plural, it's only one right now, but the other one's
Close
coming.
enough. Yeah, it's pretty soon.
Um, I would journal, like, pretty much every morning. I would read the New York Times newsletter. Let's not
Mm.
get crazy, not the whole thing, just the newsletter. I would do the Wordle. I would spend time with my planner, like putting stickers in it or
Mm,
kind of reviewing the day. Sometimes I would do like a yoga video. That was like a lot in the pandemic, yoga with Adrian.
hmm
I just had all these little things that I did for myself. And sometimes there would be music, sometimes not. But it's just the like idea of the morning routine that is like for yourself, you know?
hmm
I think now it's just like try to sleep as long as possible, and then it's not as bad as it used to be where I'm, like, propelled awake by the sound of crying or something like that. That doesn't happen so much anymore, which is great,
Yeah.
but it's just, like, sleep until the last minute possible, and then it's, like, go, 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 get out the door to daycare, lunch, getting indigo dress, all of that. I am in a different phase now that I'm, like, remote for the summer,
hmm
so I could kind of come home and have a slow morning.
That's a drop off.
Yeah, but it feels different once time has passed. It's like not the morning anymore. I feel like I kind of just got to get into stuff, and I guess I haven't made a decision about that. So it doesn't feel like that luxurious time. It feels more like I'm dilly-dallying. I need to kind of get it together.
Well, maybe you need to like name that time something else, like something mellow, mid-morning mellow, or something
Ooh, I
that
like
feels
that.
like its own distinct time. So you don't have to feel guilty that it's not the morning anymore, but
Right.
maybe there's some routine to when you get home after you've dropped off Indigo. That can be about taking care of yourself.
That would be good because it is kind of mixed in with like, oh, I should be in my email for work already or, like,
Yes.
and I don't think it really matters that much if I took 20 minutes to, like have a mid-morning mellow. It would feel
Yes.
good. This is one of the things I really admire about Sarah Hart Unger. And she has said she is a morning person.
Right. Yeah.
So she wakes up way before her family and has these different things that she does. And like she's acknowledged that it looked different when her kids were younger and stuff. But I think I aspire to that someday,
Yes.
being able to wake up early. And I just feel like I need the sleep right now.
You have to prioritize your sleep. That's important.
Yeah.
And I feel similarly in that that sounds appealing to get up
Hmm.
and have like 2 hours to yourself to do things
Right.
before you have to start the day. And, for me, I talk about this all the time. It depends on when I get to bed. If I could manage to get to bed at a reasonable time,
Yeah.
there's no reason why I couldn't wake up earlier. And I was experimenting with it a little bit. Like maybe if the driver is getting up at 5, then I will be exhausted and go to bed at the right time
Right.
if I prioritize always waking up early. I had a little bit of success with that, but it's just my meeting schedule kind of throws me off. But coming into summer, I was going to say I have a more regular schedule, but I don't because I'm going to be traveling. I'm going to be coming to see you. And, that throws things off also. So I don't know. Just roll with it.
Yeah. I will say, since listening to their episode, I started dabbling into the New York Times games again. And they're
Ah,
fun. I tried a new one that I hadn't, Connections, I think. And I never really did the mini crossword puzzle. But that's a good one because I like the idea of crosswords, but it's just too much. A whole one. So the mini one is it's challenging to me, but it was also like 5 minutes. So
I can't do crossword puzzles. I'm a terrible speller, one. Like, even if I know the answer,
yeah,
like getting the right, I can't. It brings me no joy. But I do like Wordle. I can do Wordle and Connections
yeah.
is fun. But Malika, I have a Duolingo streak, 125
Oh,
days now.
congratulations. Do you do that in the morning?
No, I usually do that at like 11. It's like
Okay.
very angry at me. It's
Nighttime.
like usually flames coming out of its ears saying, "You have 10 minutes left to get this done." So that's when I do it.
Congratulations. That's cool.
Well, do you have priority lists for home or work?
I think this is like the quintile planning stuff that we do.
Uh-huh.
That's what I would call this.
Yes.
It's like the kind of thinking about the year, what are the domains that we're focusing on, and then now that's filtered into the 25 for 25. So that helps with that. I do feel like it's a little bit sharper in January than it is now, like,
You're right. Because it was more recent, it was new, it was fresh.
yeah,
You
and
get
like
further away from it.
even doing quintile 3 planning, I started it, I didn't finish it. Like it's a
Ooh.
little murky now.
Yeah.
And I think part of it's like, okay, just getting ready for the baby, like planning for postpartum. That's just kind of it.
Right.
And things will,
Your priorities are very clear.
right, like at the end of the day, that's really the most important thing right now.
Yeah.
But I love this book by Greg McGowan called Essentialism, which I think I've talked about before is one of the most influential books on me. And this is probably a good time for me to reread it, but it's kind of about
Mhm.
clarity and, knowing what is important to you. And he has this quote that I'll read I think is interesting. It says, "As I've written before, the word priority came into the English language in the 1400s, and it was singular. It meant the very first thing. It stayed singular, very sensibly, for the next 500 years. Only in the 1900s did we pluralize the term and start speaking of priorities. So while we can find ourselves feeling that everything is a priority, literally by definition, it can't be."
Mm.
And I just love that because it's true. Like, we do talk about priorities as like a short list, but the heart of the word is that there's just one thing. that is on top. So
Right.
I think it is good if you have multiple things to constantly be putting them in order of like, what is the most important one? Because otherwise it's hard to act. What about you?
I agree that the quintile planning helps. It's like a strategic personal
Right?
plan for the year. So as I am preparing to plan for each quintile, you have to go back and look at the notes that you kept and do the reflection and make sure that you're putting on the calendar the things that you want to move forward. And so I do find that process helpful, as well as the 25 for 25, which are my priorities for the year. I have talked about this artful agenda before, but I really am loving it. And I love that it's easy to make a list and to check it off and to look at this list across all of my
Hmm.
devices. So whenever I think of something in the middle of the night, I just add it on the list. And then I could change the order of things later if I want, but I know I won't lose it. It's always there. And I'm look at it throughout the day. You get to cross things off the list when you've accomplished them. So that's good for the day to day. And then I try to also break down those larger strategic goals that I have in my 25 for 25, for example, into smaller tasks and have that be included on the artful agenda list, because I have a list that's for work and then a list that's for like personal stuff, home, and they're side by side. But it evolves. It's always
Yeah.
changing. It's a process. Like I never feel like I've arrived and this is the way I'm going to be doing this forever. So it's a journey.
I want to see your artful agenda spread, Azizi.
Oh,
Curious, like
okay.
how you've decorated it or set it up. I tried it
Yeah.
briefly. It was like too many things to customize. I couldn't spend the time and I kind of got overwhelmed.
I don't think I'm not using all the features. Like I'm not using it to its full potential. And there's a habit tracker that I just can't do because I just don't do it daily. But the lists, the work tasks, the home tasks, and then there's a couple of other boxes that you could just decide what you want to call them. I made one that's my top 3. I made one that's just for the weekend. That's really helpful to me. So yeah, I'll share it
Cool.
with you. Liz talks about how to unsubscribe for an app that you've signed up for or a program that you've signed up for, and how to unsubscribe through your phone so that it stops charging you monthly for that service. And I actually use Rocket Money. They're not sponsoring us, but Rocket Money has this feature where they tell you what the charges
Mm,
are coming up every
wow.
week, actually. They're like, these are the charges that are coming up every week. And so sometimes I'll drop into it and I'll notice, like, wait a minute, that's not something I use anymore. And they have a feature that will try to unsubscribe for you, or they'll sometimes they can try to advocate to
Mm.
reduce a bill for you. I have been able to do that successfully one time, but then it gets into like all the
Oh,
passwords for all these different things, which I don't remember. So I don't use that feature as much as I could. And I do pay for that service.
you subscribe to Rocket Money?
I do. I subscribe to it because I find that valuable, having it all in one place. I have multiple accounts. So across multiple accounts, they'll just tell you this is what's coming up. And I've found some things I don't like anymore and unsubscribed. So I appreciate that.
Is that the only thing they do for you? Is it other budgeting tools or it's just the unsubscribe?
Oh, they have a
Okay.
lot of other features. I
Okay.
don't use them. You can set a budget for you. Like I said, they can go in and negotiate for you for a phone bill, for example, if you want to try to see if you can get it cheap. Like it can do a lot more than I use it for, but that is right now how I'm
Yeah.
primarily using it.
Yeah, I've thought about it. I've heard the ads.
You're right. They are well publicized.
But I have thought, like, yeah, do I want to subscribe to this to help me unsubscribe? But it could be worth it. I don't have an airtight audit system, so I'm sure there are things that I'm not using that I'm paying for. I try to be really good about
Right.
trials and stuff and putting up my calendar, but like, despite the fact that it's on my list, I'm not reviewing my finances every week
Right. Yeah.
the way I
I'm not either.
aspire
I just
to.
look at this app or the email they pushed to me and I found something that was fraudulent.
Yeah, well,
And then
that's
I was able
something.
to go to my bank and say, investigate this.
Oh, wow.
And so I really appreciated it then.
That's great.
Malika Sarah talked about the joy of gardening, and she's on a gardening kick and wants everyone to grow something now. And it made me think about Grayson and his garden and how much fun it's been to watch the garden evolve over the years. It's
Yes.
literally grown and as its plants have grown. And he started with actually, I'll tell you how it started. It was kind of right when we moved in to the house. It was like 2021 and not everything was completely open. And so we were really using the outside. And Ilea was interested in gardening, but then she stopped being interested in it and she stopped caring for her plants. And this has really upset Grayson. It seems slowly. He was like, she hasn't even watered her plant today. So then he started doing it. That's how it started. And then
That's funny.
he added a few more. And then he got a little temporary greenhouse. And then he got another one. And now he has this massive plot of land in our backyard. And this season it was fantastic because he grew a couple of different kinds of lettuce and kale. And we ate lettuce and kale. We had it on our dinner table many nights while they were in season. So that has been so fun. I'm so happy for him that he's found this as a hobby that he could just really get into.
That's cool. His garden looks amazing.
It does, yeah. I don't go back there all the time. I can't just see it from inside, and I don't go outside that much from our backyard. But when I do, I'm always like, whoa, because he's got grow lights. And for a while, there were critters who were invading. And so then he has all these devices and systems that he was using to get rid of them. And he would tell me the stories like Beatrix Potter, like Peter Rabbit. Every day there was a new adventure about a new critter who got into some seedling. It's very sweet and brings him joy. But Malika, you and I come from a long line of people who cannot
Brown
garden.
thumbs. I don't know. I like the idea of it. And I could see starting small. I kind of imagine if I have children one day, that could be a fun thing to do with them. But I actually don't really want to. But Norm does.
He does. He grew those pumpkins.
Yeah, it's a whole pumpkin season again now. So it was very sweet. Him and Indigo, they planted the seedlings and he's been nurturing them with a grow light in the basement. And now it's time to plant them in the yard. And
oh, wow.
I see the magic of it from the child's perspective.
Yeah.
And they do a lot of gardening at Indigo's school. So that's like a whole part of their daycare cycle, planting things and then they harvest and they cook stuff. I'm struck by how simple it seems or how doable.
Yeah.
But I think it's just not my jam.
But I think that's okay for us because we have husbands for whom it is their jam. So I'm sure we reap the benefits of things growing in our proximity without actually having to get in the dirt.
Not everything can be our jam.
Not everything can be our jam.
I do want to maximize the backyard and I want it to look nice and be functional.
Right. That's a whole different topic, Malika.
Right. Okay.
That's a whole different topic, but I will give a shout out to Norm also because his indoor plant game is amazing.
Yes, he keeps them all alive.
Lush green plants in your house are just beautiful.
Thank you. I do nothing for the plant care.
I feel so bad because the plant that you guys left us, you left us a few plants when you moved away, 3 years ago or whatever. And we have one left and it is hanging by a thread and it is all up to me and I'm doing the best I can. Every now and again, I'm like, oh my God, I need some water. I need to throw some water in there. And that's the extent of my gardening strategy.
I had a plant at work that I kind of surrendered, not officially, but it was just struggling in my office. It was okay, but it wasn't doing well. And then over the breaks, I would always move it to the common space so that it would get watered.
Right.
And then I just kind of decided, maybe it's better here after the last winter break. It looks happier. And so maybe I'll just leave it in here for now and it can come back for visits, but I think it should be in the common space. And maybe I need fake plants.
There you go.
Because I like the look of plants.
Also, I don't think the plant needs to visit. I don't think it probably, if you asked it, doesn't need to come back for a visit.
No, it's just sometimes when I want my office to look really nice or whatever for a certain appointment, I can borrow it again.
So you need it. The plant doesn't need to visit.
No,
maybe you need it to visit. I can co-sign what they said about a snake plant because I have that in my office and that is pretty indestructible. Huh. So if you're starting off, I also agree, get a snake plant because it looks good no matter what. Let's take a break. And when we get back, we'll get into happier.
Azizi, how's your dinner game these days?
Well, Malika, I used to struggle with what to cook for dinner.
You're cooking now?
Okay. Actually, my husband used to struggle with what to make for dinner. I mean, meal planning, grocery lists, yuck. But then we found Prep Dish. It's a weekly meal planning service that tells you exactly what to cook. And now they've partnered with Instacart, so your grocery list becomes a ready-to-go online cart.
Ooh, what's in your cart, Azizi?
All of the Prep Dish ingredients, plus I can add energy drinks, chili crisp, lipstick, whatever, and check out in just a few clicks. Shopping online is so fun. The meals are family-friendly, healthy, and super easy to prep. Dinner is easy to make, and now we look forward to new tasty meals.
Prep Dish is offering our listeners 2 weeks free. Just head to prepdish.com/happierladies to sign up. Again, that's prepdish.com/happierladies.
Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
And we are back. Azizi, what happened on Happier recently?
On Happier episode 537, Gretchen talks about the concept of a familect, and they discuss a hack for apps on the smartphone. In episode 538, they raise issues related to keeping a storage unit.
Okay, so they talked about this idea of a familect, which is like a document that captures your family's sayings or words that you've made up, like your family dialect kind of. I think it's a combination of family and dialect or lexicon. I don't know the origin of the word familect, but it's basically a place to keep track of the things that you make up with your family.
Yes, and Malika, this is all you. So I'm going to grab my beverage and sit back and listen to your debrief of this topic, which has nothing to do with me. All right, go for it.
Well, I was very excited to hear this raised because, as I've said, I really enjoy making up words, and so does Norm, and it's a thing we both enjoy. I think it's funny because when Norm and I first started dating, within like a couple dates, we had like started making up certain things, and I started keeping track of them in a spreadsheet, but I didn't want to tell him that because that's weird, like how long do you wait before you kind of show your true self or whatever quirks you have? And I remember like maybe a month in or a month and a half in, we were talking about something. He mentioned how his mom says all these weird things that are funny and that he keeps track of them in a spreadsheet. And I was like, what? We were like walking and I like stopped in my tracks and I was like, you have a spreadsheet? And he was like, yeah. And he like pulled it up on his phone. And then I felt like, oh my gosh, I made a spreadsheet for the words we've been making up. And he was like, really? It was just a very exciting moment of like, oh my gosh, this person is quirky and weird in the same way that I am.
It's the nerdiest thing I've ever
And so then we could openly talk about the spreadsheet. And we still have it. Like this episode prompted me to go back and look at it. I haven't added to it in a couple years, so it needs to be updated, but it exists. We kind of have the word that we made up and then like the definition and like maybe the origin of it if there's a funny story.
The origin of it. Wow.
Like the moment that it came up or why it came up.
Oh my.
And I think it's interesting because the way that Gretchen and Liz talked about it, they kind of mentioned how often these things evolve in the context of a family with children, because kids say the funny things or they can't pronounce words or things like that. But for us, it was just like way before Indigo. And like we should add things in from him now, but it had nothing to do with kids.
And does he speak this language that you all speak?
He picks up some of it, and we're like, what do we do with this? Do we need to say things differently? Like we have different words for thank you and like things that would be embarrassing for him outside of the home. But it's fine. I don't know. We'll see how it evolves. But some of the words that we have or phrases, one is magic stones. So this is like something you say instead of good job or like, I'm proud of you. This came from a job that I had working with kids who had reading process issues. There was a system where you had these rhinestones that you would put in a bucket for them during the session whenever they did something
Hmm.
good, as this like subtle psychological reinforcement. And like when their bucket filled up, they could turn it in for a prize.
So it's like a gold star.
It's like a gold star, but during the session, you would just drop them into their bucket. So it was like the sound of stones falling in the bucket. You didn't have to say magic stones. You just put the magic stones in. But now we say magic stones.
Okay.
And then there's like all of these characters we've made up. Fufers McGillicuddy, Yiker's Kazoo, Sleepy Chanel, Tasty Tyrone, Irksome Fontaine.
I wasn't sure if you were going to actually get into all of them, and then you did. What purpose did these mythical characters serve in your life?
Just a name you can invoke. Like if something is really irritating, you could say Irksome Fontaine.
It's like a swear.
Yes.
Ah.
Or when there's like something scary that happens, Yiker's Kazoo.
Okay. So that's like for us, like, oh my goodness.
Yes.
Okay.
And Fufers McGillicuddy, that's like like you missed a fail or something like that. Like it was a near miss. Fufers McGillicuddy.
Sleepy Chanel.
That's just when you're tired.
It sounds like you take words and then you just add several more syllables to make everything take much longer.
Sleepy Chanel. I haven't used that in a long time, but that was like, oh, Sleepy Chanel's coming around. Like,
how did that come about?
I don't remember that one.
Okay.
I'll stop here because there's obviously so many, but it's
obviously.
It's just fun. And it's funny to me because we didn't grow up this way.
No, you and I did not grow up this way.
I remember one of my roommates in college. She came from a big family. They had this whole family culture that they did and all these words and different games. And I don't know, it was a whole thing that I think I was really intrigued by and kind of felt like, oh, well, that would be fun to just make up stuff with someone and then stick to it.
It's so funny because I think my instinct is to use as few words as possible. I like to just say just what needs to be said, generally. So I don't ever try to stretch things out. I remember my oldest daughter when she was young, like she really wanted a nickname and her name is Alea. And we're like, Alea is fine. Like you don't really need a nickname. And one of her teachers learned this about her and decided to call her Lay. And she was so happy. Like you'd say, hey, what's up, Lay? And she would just like light up. She loved it.
That's funny.
And now she's got names for Bo, our dog. Every time is like a new name and so we sort of call him by those names that she has made up. I feel like she's walking in your footsteps, Malika.
Wow,
this might
come
be her
on in.
future.
I'm happy to mentor her in making up words and silly names.
I love that you documented it. And so it'll be interesting to see which way Indigo goes. Is he gonna?
Oh, he's already.
Okay.
I think he's already in.
He's already in. Got it.
Yeah. He loves when Norm like rhymes and he likes mixing up words on purpose. That's the telltale sign.
That's amazing.
They also talked on this episode about organizing apps on your phone, like thematically. So if you have a bunch of travel apps, putting them into a folder, which you can do on iOS and I'm sure on other smartphones too. Basically, different strategies for how to organize your apps so you know where to find things.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like just use the search function, like because it was a game changer for me. So on your home screen for iOS, at the bottom, before you have those like 4 apps that you can put on the bottom that are on every page, there's a little search button with a magnifying glass. And you can tap that. And then you just start typing the name of an app, any app, and it'll just show up after like 2 letters. It will also suggest apps that you use frequently and like around the time on that search page too. So 99% of the time what I'm looking for, Siri suggests for me. But all you need to do to find an app is to know the name of it. Since I discovered that, I didn't discover it. Someone told me. I think it was probably Norm.
Mm-hmm.
I don't swipe through my apps looking for things. Like, and when I do, I try to catch myself and just go to the search because it's so much
Yes.
faster.
Right.
So apps could be anywhere on my phone. It doesn't matter. I always know that I can find things quickly by searching for them. As long as I remember what it's called, or at least the first 2 letters, then I'll find it.
Okay, so here's what's interesting. That search button that's there, I didn't even know that until you mentioned it. I didn't even notice it.
Very
But
small.
what Ilea taught me, the young people, is that you just pull down the window and the search option comes up. Do you do it that way? Like, you don't even have to push that button. You just drag the whole screen down and the option to search
I don't do
comes up.
that.
So that's another way to access that search function.
Yeah.
But yeah, multiple ways. I wonder, I have a category of apps that aren't actually apps. They're home screen buttons that I have created, like a shortcut to a website. And so I don't know that that will show up as an app on the search because it's not an actual.
Try it.
Okay, let me see. I'm going to try it right now. I'm going to try it for Dots Cupcakes because, it did show up.
There you go.
Look at that. There you go. So it works for the home screen apps also, those buttons that you create on your home screen. But this is what I think. Makers of software for smartphones, hear me out. I would love, I have a lot of ideas. I would love for there to be a feature that just organizes the apps, prioritizes them for you in order of how often you open them. They know this information. They know which apps I'm accessing and how frequently I access them. I would like to give them permission to arrange the apps for me so that the ones that I use most often are the ones that are front and center. That's all. Just think about that for the next update. Okay? So that, of course we can override, we can turn that feature off, but I would love for the smartphone to just do that work for me. But I do think it's important to look through all of your apps because I download things and I forgot that I downloaded them. So I would never even search for it. I haven't really used it or gotten into it, but maybe I heard about it somewhere and I downloaded it so that I could access it later and then I forget.
That's true.
Every now and again, it is important to look through all of your screens. How many screens of apps do you have, Malika? I'm just curious.
Oh my goodness. I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. It looks like 15.
What? I have 8.
Wow. So, okay, this is a good segue. Because they talked about storage units.
Oh.
And storage.
Yes.
Thinking about digital storage, like,
right.
I kind of feel like there could be a practice of like, okay, go through your phone, see every app you have, decide, do you want it? Do you not want it? Part of me is like, if I can't think of the apps that I need and say them to you now out loud, I don't really need them. They should just be gone. And if I do need it, then I'll download it again.
Right.
Like,
I don't know. For example, there's this app that I use that controls all the smart devices in your house.
Right, in
Mostly,
my house.
I don't need that. In your house.
Yes.
And Malika's house, okay? So there's an app that controls all the lights in Malika's house, and I don't use it except twice a year when I am visiting you at your house. And I will not remember the name of it.
Right.
Otherwise. So I like that it's there still.
Yeah.
But I hear what you're saying.
So, okay, segueing to storage.
Yes.
They talked about storage units and what a big thing that is for so many people, how much money it is to have a storage unit. What are the odds that you're going to actually use the stuff in the storage unit? What's your feeling about that? Do you have a storage unit?
I do not have a storage unit. I have a garage, and that is all I need. So when we moved into the house together, Grayson moved from his house, and it was his childhood home that he was selling. I moved from our apartment, and I had already moved several times, and I've talked about it before. I don't have a strong attachment to things, and so I'm okay letting things go and kind of being light. But him moving from his childhood home, there was so much there, and he just wasn't ready to process it and deal with it. So he did put it in a storage unit. But after, I'd say 6 months, it really started to weigh on him when he would see the bill every month and he knew that he was not accessing the things that were there. And after a year, I just said, like, let's just let it go. Bring whatever you want into the garage. We'll just cram it into the garage. Don't worry about it. And he did. He ended up letting go of a lot of things and dealing with it. So it was a load off. It's interesting. People's relationships to storage units,
Yeah.
why they got one, how they feel about it. What about you, Malika? Do you have a storage unit?
I do not. We also have a basement, which haunts me because there's a lot of space down there. I don't want it to fill up with stuff. I feel very sensitive to, at some point, there's going to be a reckoning with everything here. You know, like either when we move or at some point.
At some point, you have to deal with it.
So I don't like the idea of hanging on to things I'm not using. That doesn't mean I'm very good about clearing stuff out either, though. From a worldview perspective, I would rather get rid of things sooner than later if they're not useful.
Right. And I feel like, Malika, you don't hold on to things. It's just like it's overwhelming to get rid of it.
Yeah.
I see you not having an issue getting rid of something. It would be interesting to have a reality show about storage units because there are so many stories behind how you got there and then how you get out of it or not get out of it.
Well, they
and
have
even
like
the items that are in
storage
it.
wars.
Yeah, but not
different.
that competitive, like
Right.
consumerist way, but just the stories behind the things that are in the unit and the stories behind why people chose to get a unit or the stories behind why they're not keeping it. You know?
I'm sure it's deep. Like,
I think there's a lot of stories there and various stories, like happy stories,
right.
you know, sad stories. I'm sure it's a range. It represents a transition in my mind in life. And that's always interesting to me.
Did you see Nomadland?
I did not.
It won many Oscars.
Daddy talks about it all the time. It really
resonated
impacted
with
him. It did.
But there's a very powerful kind of moment. There's two scenes around a storage unit where the main character who's living in her van goes to visit this storage unit. There's like dishes in there and she kind of checks on it like once a year or something like.
Right.
But there's a lot that has sentimental value, but it doesn't fit in her current lifestyle. She like takes a dish with her that was her dad's or something, but it's like very emotional, but she lives a nomadic life. But she has this unit with all of her stuff.
Right.
Or stuff from a previous life. And later in the film, she just ends up getting rid of it all. Like a lot of people do, like kind of give the key away, like take it all. Yeah. And I think that Gretchen and Liz have talked about that a few times. Like that's happens more than you would think. Where people just kind of decide to just throw their hands up.
Yeah.
And it is because, it's like, what does the stuff represent to you? And if that changes or if you're able to let go, then you don't need any of it.
Mm-hmm. And it's emotional labor going through each item.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it's just easier and less weighty to just leave it all.
Right. Which we mentioned this before. This is like the weird upside of the fire.
Yeah.
You know, the garage.
Yeah. Right.
You and I have talked about that for years.
Yeah.
What it was going to be like to go through our parents' garage.
Yeah.
We won't now.
No, we won't. I went. There's nothing left really to take. But I'm finding now in LA, because everyone in LA was impacted by the fires, a common conversation comes back to what did you take when you evacuated? Or what were you going to take when you were evacuated? And the overall theme is actually, I realized none of it was important.
Yeah.
Or actually, I realized I just needed my passport and my legal documents, and I didn't really need anything else. Like even those folks who had time to make choices about what they brought with them, most people, the overwhelming majority of people said, I just didn't bring anything else, which is so telling about stuff.
Let's take a break, and when we come back, we will share our peaks and valleys.
Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
We're back with Peaks and Valleys because in life there are always peaks and there are always valleys. This is an odd episode, so Malika is up first with a peak.
So my peak is that we had the baby sprinkle, baby shower, baby sprinkle moment last weekend that a friend had agreed or actually volunteered to host.
Even better.
I mentioned how I was on the fence about having any kind of gathering, and she was like, "Oh, I'll do it for you." And I was like, "Really?" She was like, "Yes, I want to. We want to." I was like, "Okay."
Oh, that's so sweet.
And it was really nice. It was a lot of our friends in the area who also have little ones. So a lot of Indigo's classmates and people that we've met in this demographic. And I'll just say it feels like a public service to do an event for that age group on a weekend morning. Like 10 to 12 is such a you're gotta be doing something, and it's so much nicer to be in a place with other adults and
yes,
where the kids can kind of go at it and you can also have a bagel and a conversation.
That's funny. And you get out of your house.
Exactly. And it was
somebody else's.
I just peeked to my friend who hosted it. She had a lovely breakfast spread. There was a nice indoor area and outdoor area for the kids and adults. It turned out really well. And it felt good to have that moment of just people saying congratulations and we're here for you. And I'm kicking myself because I'm not really kicking myself, but we should have had somebody take pictures and we didn't. So I took a couple when we first got there, but I'm not in any of the pictures.
Oh, no.
But it was
because you took them.
I took them. There were
you got to do some selfies.
4 other pregnant people there, which is funny. It was nice. I'm glad that we did it.
So does that mean there might be more sprinkles in your future?
What do you mean? I'm not having any more children.
No, but there are other people there who were pregnant.
I mean, it's up to them.
Just saying, it seems like
if they want to do it, I'll come.
There might be other parties that you're going to go to.
Maybe.
Okay. Well, I'm glad because I know that it's been a goal of yours to connect more with your friend group and to sort of strengthen bonds. And this sounds like that is a part of that effort also.
I think so.
Nice.
What's your valley, Azizi?
Well, as usual, more adulting is in my valley. For a variety of reasons, I had to change insurance companies. And with that comes a whole lot of logistics around getting a new doctor and making appointments. And probably there's going to be a new app and just new ways of connecting. And so it's something I have to do and can't avoid, but I'm not really looking forward to it. So there's that.
That is just a faff.
It's a faff. And finding the right doctor and learning their systems, all of that is not looking forward to it, but has to be done.
Yeah. Well, that brings us to the end. Azizi, let's leave on a happier thought. Is there anything that you're going to try this week?
I am going to go through my apps. See what can I get rid of. I think it's time for that. That's a good summer thing to do. What about you, Malika?
I'm going to try to explore this, what did we say, mellow mid-morning?
Mid-morning mellow.
Mid-morning mellow. See if I can codify that.
Nice. Tell me about it. You do. I think you just need 3 things that you always do.
Yeah.
Mid-morning mellow.
Keep you posted. Thank you for listening to this episode. You can find our show notes in the episode description. If you like us, rate, review, and tell a friend. And don't forget to follow us.
Send us a message at happierladies@gmail.com.
Our show was edited by Magnus Bjorgum, and our theme music was created by Wyatt Muncie.
You can find us on Instagram at happierladies and on the web at happierladies.com. All right, Malika, have a happier week.
Have a happier week, Azizi. Bye.
Bye.
Shout out to Magnus and to Wyatt for graduating from high school. Congratulations.
Yay! Our Happier Ladies team is growing up. We're so excited for you and your new adventures in college.
Well, I was very excited to hear this raise because, as I've said, hold on.
Oh.
Getting so excited, I'm coughing.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM, women's voices amplified.